Kiriko was introduced with Overwatch 2. She was very, very strong on launch. You saw her a lot played an Owl with the Winston Lucio comp, Reaper Sojourn. And because of her very good healing output, her great damage of 120 bursts on headshot, right, 3x multiplier, she had a fantastic ultimate, which was almost like a 5-man nano boost, plus Winston getting his bubble back twice as quickly was very, very good. Reaper basically getting to be this shredding machine with it. It just had great synergy with almost everybody. The only one I think that it didn't have great synergy with was a Sojourn, even though she could shoot super fast inside of it. It just wasn't as good as like a Reaper being in that Kitsune Rush, a Winston's bubble being benefited by that Kitsune Rush, the Winston's cleave itself being benefited. It was very different. But on top of all of this, right, on top of a protection Suzu, which is like a get out of jail free card for her whole team, on top of the Swift Step, which she can teleport to people, they also gave her a wall climb. There's more to it than that, but that's the basic rundown of Kiriko. Despite this fun, right, that this character can produce, I would say that the fun can be very negative towards the enemy team. Because if you hit a biotic grenade Azana, you should be rewarded for that, not, oh, the Kiriko pressed E, there goes my play, and now I'm dead. That's not very fun. So how can we make it to where Kiriko maintains her like ninja identity, this assassin playstyle, but also makes it so that and keeps his cleansing playstyle, but make it a little more balanced, a little more skill expressive. And that's what we're gonna do. So let's analyze what's not very skill expressive in our kit, and then let's reconvene and then talk about what changes we can make. So first off, we had the Swift Step. This would let Kiriko directly teleport to any ally on her team. I'm pretty sure within 30 meters too. So like it was generous on the distance. And she could do this through walls. She didn't have to have line of sight at all. She could just teleport. So to draw an example, you see your left pinky on your hand? Hold it. Just like kind of press it in. All right. Now take your right arm. Just move it. Just move your right arm while you're holding down your left shift key, pretty much. And there you go. You've just gotten out of a sticky situation as Kiriko, because it's as easy as holding down shift and looking at an ally, and that's it. Now there is obviously a little more to it with, oh, I could decide who I want to TP to and all the fun stuff that comes with it, but we're kind of going to ignore that. It's not very hard to be like, oh, this guy's further away. I'm going to TP to them. They're not being pressured. I'm low HP. Let me go TP to that guy. It's really not that tough. So next thing is that if I was to miss position on Ana, then I'm dead because I mispositioned, I played poorly, and now they get to capitalize off my bad positioning. And that's fine. That's a good expression because it's like, oh, now I'm dead because I played stupid. When Kiriko plays stupid, she doesn't get deaded. So the next ability is Protection Suzu, and allow me to paint this picture. You see the color purple? You press E. You see a low HP target? You press E on them. You see a high damage ultimate or ability coming in, it's making you feel anxious or scared? You press E. Suzu is possibly one of the worst designed abilities in the game. It's way too multi-purpose. It can cleanse, it can heal, it does additional healing on cleansing now, and it was a boop. They removed the boop, and it's invulnerability. It gives you invulnerability, and it will lift you up from CC. Like that whole cleanse idea. It also works on crowd control. So very, very horribly designed and does way too much, encompasses way too much. So we're going to rework both of these abilities and try to keep the cleansing identity that the devs intended for Kiriko while making it a little more skillful and a little more coordinated and thoughtful. So first off, let's rework the wall climb passive just a bit to be more unique to Kiriko. So instead of just reusing assets and putting wall climb on her, let's just make an entirely new passive called wall skip. If you've ever played Titanfall 2, the idea that you can run along a wall, and jump off of it and kind of press the direction you want to go, it's familiar to you. Put this on Kiriko, and I will elaborate on why I think this is a great idea for the character. And when she does this wall run, it will very quickly she'll very quickly slow down if she tries to stay on the wall and then slide to a stop and then slide the rest of the way down, kind of falling off the wall. But as she's on the wall, she can press space and look in a direction, and it will launch her off in that direction. So kind of thinking of Lucio's movement in a way where she inputs into the wall and then can look somewhere and then press space. So she would attach to the wall. You'd be using your inputs to stay on the wall, right? So directional input to stay on. You don't have to hold space. It's not like the Lucio wall run in that method. When you press space again, you could launch off in the kind of direction you want to go, um, and that's how that would work. So this will go in great with her new ability, which replaces Swift Step, and this is going to be called Graceful Step. And the idea here is how the Kitsune that Kiriko, channels her abilities from. As it moves, it sort of steps on these invisible pools of water in the air. And I'm actually going to show you a video real quick. So you can see the little ripples that formed as the fox jumped in the air. And that's what we're going to base this movement off of. So the new ability will have her not teleport, right? This is going to be a way for her to move more swiftly. Funny enough, like Swift Step, it's actually not her moving fast, it's just teleporting. Graceful Step is actually going to make her move swiftly, make her move more quickly. It's going to be a 20%, initially 20% in my tests is what I'm going to do. Speed increase, and it's going to give her access to multiple jumps in the air, and it will let her use this wall run, this wall skip passive, infinitely while the ability is active. So if she's between two walls, she can skip between them, sort of Titanfall 2 running and getting a little more momentum each time until the ability ends. So it could be pretty fun. And you may be worried, oh, this seems like a really strong ability. How would it be balanced? It would be 5 seconds of mobility. And if you sort of think of Neon from Valorant, as she runs, like the bar depletes as this ability is active. She doesn't get the speed the whole time. So when she double jumps, right, when Kiriko just jumps in the air and then chooses maybe to jump again and again, it will progressively use more of this meter. As the meter is active, it will take 20% of that meter per second. Each jump will increment and take more and more of that percentage. So Kiriko will be able to jump, it'll do 10% of the bar instantly. Meanwhile, the 20% is still draining per second. So 10%'s gone. Then you jump again. Now it's 20%, so that's a total of 30% gone. Then you jump again, it's gonna take down another 30%. So now you've used 60% of your bar because you've done 10, 20, 30. You've done 3 jumps in the air. And that's going to pretty much empty the bar at that point because it would be 2 seconds of movement left. And you could use the 4th jump if you have anything remaining. But that's what it's going to be. Potentially 4 jumps in the air. And they're not going to be as high of jumps. They're going to be like little skips, right? This is not going to be like huge height like Genji's double jump. It's going to be very much like a little half jump, half hop. Um, so yeah, this is going to last a total of 5 seconds if you just use it for speed. And it's going to be cancelable at any time, and the bar will refill 10% per second, which means it will take you 10 seconds to fully refill it. If you waste the whole bar, it'll take 5 seconds of cooldown before you can activate it again, at which point you'll have 2.5 seconds of the meter available to use. Versus if you cancel it early, it'll be a 3 second cooldown, but you can activate it a little bit quicker. And that's where we're going to start. We're going to see how it feels. So then the next ability will be replacing Protection Suzu. And we're going to be replacing it with this new ability called Warding of Fuda. And during this, Kiriko will throw an Afuda to a player of her choice. It will automatically track, and once thrown, it will go through walls, unlike her heals. It can be eaten by heroes like Sigma or Diva, but will not be stopped by shields. Its travel speed will be similar to healing Afuda, though slightly quicker. Warding of Fuda, when activated on a target, will start remembering how much damage a target is taking for the next 2 seconds. During these 2 seconds, the target will glow with a slightly green aura, and upon the end of these next 2 seconds, the target will heal 50% of the damage that they took. And if they were afflicted with the status effect in this time, like Biotic Grenade or Sleep Dart, it will cleanse the status effect. So, if you think of a combo like, oh, my Genji's going to Blade, I can see him dashing up, he's going to Blade, I'm going to throw this Warding of Fuda onto him. Now, if he gets slept or naded, as long as he lives through the next 2 seconds, he will wake up, he will not be naded, and he'll be able to continue his blade. This is very different from Kiriko having to going to like TP on the Genji, throwing Suzu down and enabling the blade a little bit more directly. It's going to very much be preemptive. If she tries to use the warding of Fuda on somebody who has been naded already or slept already, it will do nothing. So you see that they're naded on the first second, you throw the ability very close to them, and they're hit with it before the cooldown expires, they won't be healed at all, right? Because that's what Biotic Grenade does. It denies healing. So if they are anti-nated, it's not going to do anything. That and then the sleep dart, if they're already slept, it's not going to wake them up earlier. You can throw it on them in anticipation of, oh, this is going to at least make it so maybe they survive, but probably not. It's sleep dart. You typically don't live through that, and that's fine. If you didn't prep for that, then hey, that's how it is. That's what Overwatch is. It's a punishing game, and that's the rework. Those are the three things you have to change: is her passive, give her this mobility, give her this more fun play style. Oh, and I also forgot to say her damage, because she's getting more mobility, right? She's going to have reduced damage, and that's fine. She's going to get a 2x multiplier, going to have 45 base damage, 90 on headshots. This is going to change some breakpoints versus specifically Tracer, where beforehand she could do the headshot body shot, and initially on her release could do the headshot melee to just kill Tracer outright. This is going to let her not have to worry about that. So Tracer will be in a better spot versus Kiriko, which is good because Kiriko really shouldn't be that all-encompassing strong. I'd like to say I think Ilari should also do 70 damage and not 75, just because the 5 damage really does kind of mess up Tracer. But that being said, we are going to focus just on Kiriko for now. So with this, I'm going to be incorporating these changes into like a Unity 3D model, seeing how they work, seeing how they function, and that's going to be the little thing I have going on this week. That's about it. See you.